grateful to be here. I have to tell you, when Angela mentioned or invited me to come and speak, initially she said, I'd love for you to come speak on love. And I was like, me? You sure? Love? And I just said, let me pray on it. And sure enough, as soon as I did, it was very obvious, and I knew what my purpose was in being here. So I'm super grateful to Angela for inviting me. The aspect of love that I would love to speak with you on today is self-love, and what I think is the highest form of self-love, and that is answering that inner call, honoring your passion, really being courageous enough to step into that area of yourself and honor that. So to do that, I would like to do two things, I think. Tell you a little bit about my story, and then leave you with three things that I think are just foundational for anyone who wants to step into their truth, really honor their passions. So I'm going to start with my story. Okay. So my greatest passion is acting, and it's always been. The seed was planted as a child. And it wasn't until I was in college that I started to actually take some real solid action around that. And so I started really just honoring that and stepping into it. I got an agent. I was doing commercials, and I went to Georgia Tech, so I was doing my studies and a student doing my thing, but acting fed me, and it made me feel alive. It added color to my life, and didn't have any expectations of it. I just did it because it made me happy. And so graduated from college, went to work. Still, it was always there, always feeding me. I was the happiest employee on the planet. I was always volunteering for stuff because I was being fed in a way that I couldn't even explain. It was just really fueling me. And got an advanced degree, still acting, still doing commercials, started consulting, and it wasn't that I didn't need to know any more than the fact that I could do it. I didn't need to figure out how. I didn't need to make it more than what it was. It was just enough, and it continued to feed me. And so after graduating from an MBA degree, I started consulting, and I got to a point where I needed to travel for my job. So what happened, the auditions would be in Georgia, and I'd be in New York. Or the auditions would be in North Carolina, and I'd be in Chicago. And sooner or later, my agent was like, sweetie, we can't work with you. And so I had to make a choice. And did the whole pros and cons, what's the best thing for me, the best form of self-care, taking the best care of myself. Well, I need to make a living, so, I need this money. And so I thought I was doing the right thing by choosing this pathway and choosing not to do the acting anymore. And didn't feel all that good inside, but logically I was just like, okay, well, what else am I going to do? I need to do this. And of course my family was like, crazy girl, yeah, this is what you need to do. You don't have a choice. Like you can't do that. And so I chose that, got back on the road, traveling, and not too long after, it seems like the lights just started to dim a little bit in my life. And I really didn't know why. I knew I loved it, but I just knew I was doing the best thing for me. I knew I was, I made like a gazoogles of money. So I was just doing the best thing. And kept getting dimmer and dimmer, dimmer and dimmer. Started using things to help me try to get through the day. Vending machine was my favorite. I would get all kinds of snacks just to make it through the day because it was just that challenging. And nothing changed. The people I worked with were the same. They were awesome, amazing people. The work was the same. I still liked it, but I wasn't being fed. And so, when you keep doing what you truly don't want to do or what you're not being fed, I ran into a nice little wall, I guess, and I'll call that wall depression. And in that space, in hitting the wall, I couldn't do nothing but fall, nothing but surrender, nothing but let go. And really, in the space of letting go and surrender, I think that's when I was saved. That's when things began to open up a little bit more for me. I'd been trying to get a job that got me off the road like forever. Nothing came through. But in that place of surrender, all of a sudden I got a phone call. Hey, man, what you doing? interested in being off the road? Yeah. So I go interview, and it's not even an interview. They're just like, come on in, girl, we haven't seen you forever. When you want to start? It wasn't even an interview. It was just, here, take the job. And so I got off the road, got a therapist, got some help to support me. And the thing is, I didn't really know what acting was. I didn't know what it meant for me, for my spirit. I had no clue until then. And so after being off the road, I did my first play after being off the road. First play. Best thing on the planet. I was alive again. And I made a promise that I would never, ever, ever leave it again. Ever. And so I haven't. I said I would continue to say yes. Always. And I have. And fast forward, the more I said yes, the more opportunities opened up. The more I said yes, the more opportunities to help others opened up. And I started this wonderful thing of coaching, where my focus is helping people to step into their own truth. Yeah. And so that brings me here today. And in my, decade of coaching, I'm super duper 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 clear that there are some basic foundational things that we all have to have in our efforts to step into that part of us. And that's what I want to leave you with today. So there's 3 that I want to make sure that you walk away with. Okay? So the first one is, I think it's a mindset shift actually. The first one I think is, you have to remember why you're here. And why you're here, what I mean is why you're here on this earth journey. We're all here to grow, to evolve, and to expand. Period. We're not here to stay stagnant. We're here to continuously evolve. And in that, those deep desires and those deep passions are going to come because they are a part of that. And so with that mindset shift, I think it keeps you open. It keeps you aware. It keeps you in a state of expectation because you know that it's coming and you're not afraid of it. You don't run from it. You don't resist it. You don't try to eat away from it or drink away from it or shop away from it. You don't. You stand in it and you become curious about it. Okay? The second thing is another mindset shift is those deep passions and callings that come from within, they are there to guide you, to give our best self, to reach our highest fulfillment, to be the biggest change agent in the world, to be a biggest service in the world. Those are the vehicles through which we get to do that. And so again, when they show up, it's like, okay, it's time to do something, and there's a different energy. It's almost an excitement around it, because now it's time for you to get in motion, right? So no more pushing away, no more hiding from it, no more putting it on the back burner until later, which is what I find a lot of clients do. And then the third thing is to always allow yourselves to begin experiencing that thing, whatever that desire is, whatever that calling, whatever it is that you want now. And the way you do that is by engaging your imagination. Imagination, a lot of people feel that it's for children. The kids play, and we all did. We were children, and we played, and used that imagination. But it seems like as we get older, we use that imagination to create like these scary scenarios to scare us to death. We don't use it to really create the magic of what's possible. And so in allowing yourself to really experience it now, engage the imagination. Allow yourself to dream. Go there, jump in the pool fully clothed and play. Play as much as you can. Because what that does, it allows you to begin to have a vision for what it is that you're being called to. It's almost like you're giving it permission to show you what it wants you to do, how it wants you to be, right? And the way you bring in all your senses. So you feel it, you smell it, you taste it. You think of how would you feel in the mornings when you wake up. and you have that, or you are that? How do you walk? You know, how do you respond? How do you smile to people now that you have that, right? You know, it's a different energy, and you allow yourself to go there fully, because all of that creates that vision, and the vision pulls you forward. It pulls you forward. It opens doors. You know, it entices you to make a phone call, and you don't even know why you're calling, but you just do anyway because you're led to do it, and then there's something, an opportunity on the end of that phone call, right? So allow yourself to completely step into it. Yeah. I have one quick example of a client, and this is very practical. You know, it's nothing magical. Basically, she wanted to get a job. She'd been out of the workforce for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. She chose to step out to raise her family. Everyone's good, her kids were great, and it was time for her to get back into the workforce. But she had been trying the normal stuff, hadn't found a job. So when she came to me, what we focused on was, what does she want? I kept that, what do you want? Right? And so a lot of our work was around that, giving her permission to play. I told her, take the canvas, it's totally clean. You get to paint whatever you want. And we did that. And it was kind of a challenge because, you know, when you come with the mindset of it's business and I got to do it this way, when someone says, well, go play, you know, you're not necessarily as open to it. But she began, and we started doing that, playing with it, doing visualizations, and helping her really see what it is that she wanted. And in doing that, she actually began to realize there's some things skills that she hadn't even thought about before. And she updated her resume because now she's coming from a different vantage point. She was able to see how she wanted to feel when she woke up. Well, how's the drive feel on the way to work? You know, what kind of people are you working with? How do you feel when you get home from work? All of that. And so after, I guess, about a month of the work, of course, she got a phone call, got an interview, and it was in alignment with what she wanted. But again, that's an example of just allowing yourself to go there and play. Okay. So, in closing, always stay mindful of why you're here. Always stay mindful of why you're here. You're here to grow and evolve. Second, always recognize that those dreams, those passions, those goals that pull you forward, that they're there to serve you. They're not there to hurt you. They're there to serve you, right? To be the vehicle through which you get to give your biggest blessing to this planet. Okay, so jump in, get curious about it, start looking under the covers. Be willing to play. Be willing to explore. Because in doing so, you allow yourself to really step into a life and a level of self-love that's beyond anything you could ever hope for. So I thank you. Thank you for listening.